Welcome, everybody, to the 2022 Quartzsite Sports Vacation and RV Show Content Creators Roundtable. We don't have a roundtable. Oh, well, there goes that. Oh, well, bummer. Well, we are Tony and Peggy.
We are from Stressless Camping.
Yes. And so we're going to pass the baton, which is in the funny shape of a microphone, and let everyone introduce themselves and the best place to find you.
All right. Well, my name is Daniel Rasmussen, and along with my wife, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, her name's Jennifer, but we are Cherish the Journey, and we do RV tips and tricks, and soon enough, we'll be going to full-time living, so we will be helping out with how to go full-time in an RV.
Great.
Hi, I'm Elaine Lombardi, and my channel is Travel Grandma, and it's about me traveling solo, a married woman traveling solo in a minivan.
Wow.
I'm Lani Nagy, and I'm the Crafty Traveler, and my husband and I love to travel. We have a 24-foot travel trailer that we travel around in. We are just part-timers. My channel has not only crafts of quilting and painting and other things, but crafty can also mean smart. So I have crafty hints of RVing on my channel, and also all the places we visit.
I'm Linda Ragan with Changing Lanes with Miss Linda. That's my Facebook page, and hopefully I'll be having a YouTube channel up with the same name. And I do full-time RVing, and I will be integrating that with I want to do personal development videos and life transformation, or how to go about doing life transformation.
Great.
I'm Adam, and this is
Joanne.
And we're with Team Hoff Health. You can find us at teamhoff.co, and we are health coaches who have recently started full-timing in our 2109S. It's about an 18-foot travel trailer, and we're just traveling the country seeing the people that we're helping with their life transformations.
All right. And are you an audience member, or are you here to join us?
No, I'm just watching.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we'll start with the questions. I thought of a few in the middle of the night, so hopefully these are any good. The first is, with the number of new campers, we all have an influence and a voice with people. How can we create and develop good stewardship? Why did I pick that color? Hey, I can see. How can we, as creators, help advocate good stewardship of the lands that we enjoy?
I'll start again with from Cherish the Journey. So I think outside, we need to just kind of put it out there of making sure people are taking good care of it by letting them know that we need to pack in, pack it out, making sure that we're not just leaving stuff behind, leaving spaces as good as before we arrived there. So just kind of good hygiene, you could say. So, yeah.
As a relatively new to the RV life, and especially full timing, this is something that we've thought about a lot too. And one of the principles that we coach on is just abundance and responsibility, and just taking radical responsibility for the areas around us. And the way that looks like in what we do is, when we pack up, we make sure, of course, that our site is clean. And as we're, walking the dog, we're always picking up after the dog, and sometimes other people's dogs, and sometimes other people, because, we can't control what other people do, but we can control what we do. And the contribution that we can make, and that just kind of area of abundance, is something I think that if everybody kind of accepted a little bit of, it's not my job, but I can still have an impact and control over it, I think that would go a long way, especially with a lot of new people with not as much experience and maybe not as much knowledge of the unwritten rules of how all this works. So.
Very good. Any other input on? No. All right. This is going more quickly than I had anticipated. All right. An RV requires much more maintenance than most newbies anticipate. What should the industry do to change the perception and the reality?
When we bought our travel trailer in the end of 2019, I won't mention the company, but we went to pick it up and we were given the walkthrough. I had done extensive research and I knew this trailer inside and out. And the young man that gave us the walkthrough didn't know anything. I explained it to him. So as far as that goes, the RV industry needs to make sure the person who is giving the walkthrough understands the rig and can explain it. And I've had other people say the same thing. They bought from somebody else and they were given a 15-minute run through and they really had no idea what they were doing. And that's part of the RV industry's responsibility, to make sure that the buyer knows the rig.
Now, I will add this as somebody who worked at a dealership and also managed warranties.
It wasn't your dealership.
That's good. No, I was very pleased with, but we were fortunate. Finding techs is a giant challenge. There are not really many more techs now than there were 10, 15 years ago. But last year, the RV industry sold over 600,000 rigs. And if you are, I'm going to say a young person. I'm going to say a young person. But if you're a young person and you can figure out which side of the screwdriver is the side to work, and you want a great career, it's pretty easy to go to the RV Technical Institute, or RV has the RVIA also has a training class. Go through those classes. I say go get yourself a used van and a magnetic sticker and just drive through any RV park. And if you don't make $150,000 that first year, something's wrong. And the reason I suggest a magnetic sticker is there are going to be times when you're like, leave me alone.
You don't want people to always know.
Right.
Once you've made the money you want to make that year and you're on vacation for the rest of the year, take the magnet off. And
yeah, there's such, it is such a relatively easy business to get in because there are two good training schools and they're not horribly expensive. They're a lot less than 1 year of college, and it's such an opportunity. So if you all know any young folks who are looking for, or old folks, we interviewed a lady who was our age,
yeah,
and she just went through the class and now she's an inspector and is doing real well. So it's a huge opportunity.
So are you speaking from experience?
Are we speaking
How
from
so?
experience?
It's about RV maintenance.
Well, it's an RV. So you go out and you buy a new, let's just say, any pickup. Pick any full-size pickup on the market. Go out and buy one, and chances are you're going to need to do the oil changes, and you might have to look at the tire inflation pressure now and then. But for the most part, they're just bulletproof, right? Compared to cars 20 years ago where there was all these points of maintenance, now they're so maintenance free and so well made. Well, an RV is not. Oh, no, I don't want to say it's not well made. An RV,
Whoa.
for example, all RVs require quarterly inspections of seals. There is no RV company that doesn't advocate that once every 3 months you just go and look at all the seals on it. You don't have to do that on a car. Things like knowing the different electrical systems, checking the roof, checking the tires before you go. There's so many little maintenance points on an RV that are not there on a car, but I think the American consumer has become so spoiled by how incredibly good like the worst production car now is so good that you become like, oh, you don't have to do anything, you just go. Right? And that's not as true of an RV. So I think that a lot of people, from my experience at the dealership, they get it, they don't maintain it, and then 6 months or a year later, they're, hey, it leaks, I want to file a warranty claim. Oh, okay, do you have your records of checking seals? I didn't check my seals. We told you to check your seals. It's on the checklist. I didn't check you just ruined your $80,000 travel trailer, buddy. I mean,
So there's a lot of education that goes into it, and it needs to be kind of from both sides.
No, I guess what I was trying to ask was, did you go through the course yourself?
oh,
And
those-
or is it just interviewing other people that went through the course?
No, I have not gone through the course. I do want to, but that's not the focus of our content. However, it is good to always know these things and be an informed consumer. I know a number of people who have, and I know the people at the schools. So that's the experience I have on the courses.
Oh, and I agree with you because I absolutely want to go through that class. I think
Yeah, and you can take the course just so you know better how to take care of your own rig. That's another opportunity. So some people do it just so it's like, oh, I want to learn how to fix this stuff. And other people do it because I want to start a business.
One of the things, again, being a newbie here, a unique perspective on this is I wish that they would talk more about towing capacity if there's a trailer involved, what's safe versus what looks good on paper,
Yes.
and also about just the different, I guess, things that have to do with, towing a trailer. We had to help somebody back up into their spot at a campground a month ago because they had never backed up their trailer before, and things like that. But also, when you're driving down the highway and you pass a semi, they should say, "Hey, by the way, it's going to suck you in," and so you need to be ready for that, because that first time, whoo! I tell you what, that was
Scary.
a surprise. And so just talking about, I guess, tow vehicle and what those numbers are, and also probably checking your tow vehicle to make sure that they're selling you a rig that actually is legal and safe.
Well, that's something a lot of consumers seem to get, and the industry, and I'm going to blame the auto industry more than the RV industry, but the auto industry will say, hey, this pickup truck will tow 10,000 pounds. And then you look at, and you're in the same group I am, so we have the tow police. I mean, literally, it's like the main station of the tow police. And you look at, let's say this pickup says 10,000 pounds, and then you're like, oh, good, I can have me, my spouse, and our 3 kids, our firewood, our generator in the back. And now you're close to what that pickup's cargo capacity is. And then you take a 6,000 pound trailer with 500 pounds of tongue weight, now you're over capacity. And a lot of people don't realize that. So it's not as much what you can pull, because that's different than what you can carry. And carry is really what is an important, and especially that's why a lot of people we see say, well, I have this big SUV, let's say Suburban or Expedition, whatever, and they're like, oh, good, I can bring my 5 kids, my 2 dogs, me and my wife, and it's like, no, you're already close to capacity. So anyway,
I also want to point out, and I'm in the process of doing this right now, getting tires. They do not tell you at the tire store that these tires have a weight rating, and you have to add up that weight rating for each of your tires to exceed the trailer that you got, or else they're going to be burning away real quick. So
Yeah, tires, and there are not. We've all heard and I don't want anybody to say the term, but we've all heard the unkind term for the tires that come on the travel trailers.
Maypop.
Maypops. That's right. Yeah, that's how we call them. Maypops. Yeah, and it's not untrue, and it's unfortunate. There's really one or two good manufacturers of travel trailer tires, but you're right. Speccing the tire so it can carry the load is important. And one of the things I dealt with this as a warranty claim. We had a customer who was an engineer, and he looked at the axle ratings on his trailer and realized that the trailer actually was heavier than what the axles were rated to carry. So he came to me and said, "This is not good." And I said, "I know, but the way the manufacturer thinks about this, 15% of that weight is carried by your tow vehicle. So they rated the axle to about 90% of the weight of the trailer." And I don't like that. So that's, one of the things, okay, I'm going to get off my own rails here. One of the things that I've watched people do at RV shows, and here, there's RVs for sale here, is they'll look at the cabinets and they'll look at all the pretty inside stuff. And we were just over looking at, I'm not going to mention a certain brand name, but we were just looking at a certain brand of travel trailer. And this guy's like, "Wow, these are really great, and I've heard good things." And I said, "Did you look at the suspension?" "No." "Why?" "It's cheap leaf springs on Maypop tires. It's a brand that's done a good job of marketing, but I review 356 RVs a year. Look at this. Look at the under stuff, because that's what's going to break. You can paint the cabinets. Just ask Courtney. She's darn good at it." So anyway.
Yeah, and another thing to add onto that is the cargo carrying capacity inside the rig. So that's another thing that some people may not even think of, is you don't just have the cargo carrying on your truck, but just like you have it in the rig. So if you're going to go full time, people are going to think, "Oh, I'm just going to bring everything. I'm going to put all my stuff, like bring all my books or whatever you have." And you only have whatever it's spec'd for. So, so it's another thing to look at is all that weight. And then, you might go into it and then it's like, "Oh, well, now that we have full tanks and full water and everything else,
I don't have room for even some clothes."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and then you're like, "Oh, my truck's really bogged down," or so. Yeah, it's like that's when, blowups happen, and it just causes a whole lot of headaches.
Yeah, that is an extremely valid point. In fact, again, back to those RV reviews, I just was at RV Travel. I get a lot of reader input, and they say, "Hey, can you review a blah blah blah?" And so somebody said, "Hey, how about a Coachman Apex Class C? It's based on the Sprinter chassis." And I look at it, and I'm like, something's not right here. And so I contacted the manufacturer. Well, they didn't get back to me. They often don't. But I looked at several dealers, even called 3 dealers, to find out what is the cargo carrying capacity of this Class C motorhome. 784 pounds. So get a driver that's 250 pounds, get a passenger that's 150 pounds. There's 400 pounds. Fill the water tank. You literally have nothing left. And it's like, who thought this through? And then I started looking back at the reviews I had done of those Sprinter-based Class Cs, and they're all that bad. Or the ones I had reviewed, and I'm thinking, God, that's... So, okay, dear the rails, I'm going to go off on a tangent. So in the 90s, back in the old days, in the 90s, Toyota sold chassis to the RV industry, and they made all these great little Toyota-based Class C motorhomes. They were super popular, and they were all so overloaded. Toyota had huge issues with axle failures, and I wonder if we're going to see that with all these Sprinters. I don't know, but you couldn't sell me one. So Anyway.
So what's the lesson? So everyone,
as you said, look at the cargo
everyone
carrying
needs
capacity.
Everyone needs to take responsibility when they're going shopping. They need to understand what they're shopping for. Don't shop for cabinet color.
Well, you can.
Well, right, but don't stop there. Like, understand the quality.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Do your homework.
Understand what capacity means. If it doesn't work for you, move on. But understand that and don't just get it and not do maintenance and then 6 months later just be miserable in your decision because you didn't take the time and the effort. Yeah, I think things need to change from the industry side. But until they do, we're responsible for our own decisions. Yep. And until the manufacturers and the dealers start educating us as RVers, we need to educate ourselves.
Well, or is it demand based? I mean, if we start saying, "Well, we're not gonna buy any more of these Class C's until you address this," then they're gonna go, "Oh, we better address that, right?" It's all demand based.
But if enough people don't know that is a problem, then it's just going to continue.
Yeah, let's hope that's a part of our job with our voices out there is to share this kind of things that are important.
Yeah, I would like to see, with the huge amount of RVers coming out now, that people start notifying their politicians that we need lemon laws, because manufacturers just don't seem to get it. And they seem to be putting out products that are really substandard and even dangerous. And a lot of these people buying these RVs they are clueless, and they do need to do research. But the products, if they're putting out dangerous products, that just isn't right. And with the lack of lemon laws in the RV industry, it's really, I think, criminal. What's going on?
Well, and then if you went and bought an RV recently in the past, I don't know what the time period is, and you see that little sticker right by the door that says the RV Industry Association, and it talks about the plumbing, that is one of the biggest advocates. So first of all, you're paying, I think, $100 for that sticker, and it goes to the RVIA, who is one of the biggest advocates against lemon laws. So there you go. The RV's own industry association is a huge anti-lemon law advocate. So I agree with you. It is up to us to demand these things from the people who we hire by our votes. And there is a federal kind of lemon law that's mostly ineffective, but you're right. We need more enforcement because if for a lot of times with a passenger vehicle, pickup truck, car, whatever, if it spends more than a certain number of times in the shop for the same thing or more than a certain period of time, are there many RVs that haven't spent that much time? And part of that is to some defense of the RV industry, the lack of, there's such constraints on parts right now that if I had a dealership, I wouldn't be able to fix your water heater or your air conditioner or things like that. So some of that is the realities of nowadays, but some of it is the sunshine treatment, as they say. Put your RV in the sunshine and see if it gets better. You guys are good. Since we're here, I only have two more, and these are easy ones. But if you... Huh? We kind of got that one. We addressed it.
I just like the numbers. So
okay, so we just got the report from the RV Industry Association that there were... Let's see if I have the exact number. There were 600,240 units shipped last year.
RVs.
600 RVs in total. Of that, 544,028 were towables, fifth wheels, and travel trailers.
That's 90.6% of all RVs sold in the last year were travel trailers and fifth wheels, towables, not motorized. So
Yeah.
not vans, not Class C's, not Class A's. That only represents about 10%.
Yeah, it's a small percentage.
So a lot of people that have been coming to Quartzsite for years and years and years have come up to us and said, well, there's just not as many Class A's as usual. Well, if the industry is paying attention, there would also be more than 4 little travel trailers out there too. So
yeah, it's you go.
I don't know what's out there if there's no Class A's and there's no small travel. And there's a lot of fifth wheels. I do know that.
Yeah, there are a lot of big fifth wheels. And the dealership that's here, who is a sponsor, did say that they tend to sell mostly to full timers.
Right.
So
And not very many full timers want a little tiny. Although
I don't know. I think
it's
it's
not true either, right?
I
Right.
would do it.
Yeah.
What the heck?
We
right?
only need 2 more feet to go full time. That's what I think.
She's not kidding, actually. So, as how many of you are here for the first time at Quartzsite? Half. Okay. And so, what is your biggest takeaway? I'll let everyone in on that, if you would. Oh, all right. She's gonna speak. Yay.
Hey, this is Joanne with Team Hoff Health. I will say my biggest takeaway, again, this is our first year ever, and we remember, buying one in 2021 and thinking, okay, where are we going to go? We're going to go see all of our clients and coaches. But really, honestly, that paired with, okay, where are our coaches and clients? Not in the snow. But it's been beautiful. I will say this area is gorgeous. I mean, for entertainment, whenever we want to go out on Friday night, there's a lot to do. Even in the smallest cities, you can support small coffee shops. You can support small businesses, as you guys know, that are coming back from COVID and all that and shut down. So to go and support them or even promote them on your Instagram or Facebook goes a really long way. So I will say, yeah, we love this area. Love that we're bordering Cali, which is a gorgeous state as well. But it's just, I would say this has been such a journey and hope more people come out.
And I'd like to add to that too, just the diversity of just where people are at in their life and where they're from. And, walking through the tents and you see all kinds of different things and products and people and ages and all of that. And also I love that it's dog friendly. That's a huge bonus, of course. But there's a stigma, I think, on the outside that, that's what, retired people go do. And yeah, a lot of retired people do, but it's not just that. Joanne and I, we're not retired. We're doing the things that we're loving, and we're able to do it while we travel. And I think there's going to be a lot more of that coming. So if there's somebody out there listening that's like, yeah, I don't want to do that because whatever, I say, do it and meet the people of all diverse backgrounds and ages and seasons of life, because everyone has value to contribute in that. And that's one thing I love about this as we travel around and meet people doing this.
Yeah, you are more the way the industry is going than where it has been.
Yeah, so being here for my first time, it's just amazing to see just all the different, like the previous person said, just the diversity of all the different people and how they live and how they just gather together and just kind of almost like a collective. And for me, it's just encouraging to see being a potential going full-time RV living. It's just a great community that I've seen, and just looking forward to being part of it and just helping, and also just being able to help out the RV community, whether it's full-time, whether you're part-time, whether you're camping, just giving the knowledge out there. And so, yeah.
Right. This is Travel Grandma again, and like I said before, I am traveling right now in a minivan. I've actually downsized to being more of a minimalist. I did start out several years ago in a Class C. It was quite a large one, 30 plus feet. I'm going to be honest with you. I banged the crap out of that. Me and my husband. The awning came off. I hit a tree. I backed into my husband actually ruined our bikes. He backed into something. That was just too big for us. It was our first experience. I've had a road trek before. Loved that. It was an older one and wasn't real secure with the mechanics of it at the time. So we did sell that, and then I got a little Class B+, really cute, like a mini Class C, and I enjoyed that very much. When I went solo, my husband we've gone cross country a couple of times. So those vehicles all served us very, very well. But now that my husband is retired and he's comfortable at home, and I think that's wonderful. I'm not ready to just, be a couch potato. I don't play golf like he does. So I like to get out, and I like to go and visit my friends. And I've met several other YouTube creatives that I enjoy meeting, and that's one of the reasons that I came back here. I did come in 2 years ago to meet a lot of people, and I came back to see those friends and meet new friends. So that's why I'm here, and I love the diversity. So I'm familiar with the RV industry. I'm familiar with other types of rigs, and now I love my minivan. And there's a place for us as well
Oh,
here.
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, there's no wrong way except staying home.
Right. And it doesn't matter if you're a full-time nomad or a part-time. Everyone is welcome here.
Yeah, it's a good, and you'll find your tribe. So no matter what your style and what your rig and your stage in life, there are a bunch of other folks here doing what you're doing and loving to hang out and share and help improve. We don't talk about hitting trees.
We can have our own Facebook group just
but
for
anybody
tree
want to
hitters.
check out my new Lippert Solera awning?
Lani from Crafty Traveler. It's not that we're the retired couple, but we're not full-time, we're part-time. But we both have camped and traveled all of our lives, starting with tents and trailers and vans. But and I have been to Quartzsite before, but it's been in July and August when you don't want to be here. But we didn't camp; we just drove through. But
As quickly as possible.
as quickly as possible with the air conditioning going full blast. We used to live in Palm Desert, which is near Palm Springs, in the 70s and 80s. And I had heard of this place, Quartzsite, and all these RVs and the tent, but we never made it when we lived there. And we had a little travel trailer at the time. So I told my husband I wanted to go this year. I'm personally not interested in buying anything. We've bought lunch. I've not bought anything. I didn't go through the tent. My husband went through the tent. My
You're missing out.
Yeah, you're missing
my
out.
my purpose for coming was to meet other YouTubers. And I've met quite a few. So I have met my own goal, and I do want to return, hopefully next year. The weather's perfect. Everyone we've met has been wonderful. We are with a large group, the next exit group, but everybody's just really great. And there's like 85 RVs in the group, and probably 60 of them are huge Class A's. Our little 24-foot travel trailer looks like a little baby next to them. But anyway, we've had a lot of fun, and I hope to return. So,
All right.
I'm Linda from Changing Lanes with Miss Linda, and this is probably the 5th year I've been to Quartzsite. The first year I came for like 2 days and thought, what the heck? This is just desert and rocks and dirt. And I didn't know anybody. I was new on the road, and I hadn't made all my connections yet, And so the next year, I knew friends that were going to be parked here, they weren't real good friends, so I stayed a little longer. And so each year I come back, Quartzsite grows on me more every year. And this is the first year I've come to the big tent because I don't like big crowds. And so I'm really glad. I've been enjoying the big tent and the band and everything that's been going on. It's I'm really glad I came now. And but now I'm camped with some of my really good friends this year, and we're having a heck of a good time. And that what I noticed over the years that I've been coming here is people are connecting more. As they travel and they get to know more RVers, when they come and camp here, they're camped in groups, in big groups a lot of times, like you are. I'm in a small group. But, and I think that's really cool because I think that people have gotten so disconnected from one another, in the recent times. So when you can have a forum where you can connect, it empowers you. Because just camping with my friends, I mean, if one of us is out of paper towels or whatever, well, you got paper towels, we share meals, and it's just a whole new experience, and it's very empowering. And if you know something happens, you got somebody that can call the ambulance or whatever, which happened to our group next to us last night. So, yeah, that happens, and that's also a good thing to think about is be prepared for emergencies,
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So I'm hearing everyone say, if it's not your first time, like I knew one person, I knew 10 people, I know 100 people. How do you find that tribe? How do you find your people, your group, your tribe, the groups you want to hang out with? Okay.
Yeah,
Just
so
making
the answer,
connections.
nobody said it on the mic, but the answer was YouTube.
Making connections on YouTube. All right. Well, good. So for us, this is Tony's and my third time being here as Stressless Camping. But it's probably my 6th or 8th time because I'm a geologist. And when I was going to school in Southern California for geology, of course, every year, just right before this big tent event is kind of a big deal. This town is always into rocks and minerals, but there's like big rocks and mineral gem shows. And so, of course, I came here with my geology friends a bunch of different times before I even met Tony. So I've been to Quartzsite a lot more times than he has, but then this is our third time being a part of this RVing community, or this traveling RVing. I don't want to say RVing and then make some people feel left out because they tent camp or they van camp or whatever. But
they're all recreational vehicles.
The travel community.
Yeah. So, well, I guess those are all the official questions I have. If you have something you'd like to add. So some of you have gotten out of here. Oh, that golf cart. Some of you have gotten out of here without buying anything? How is that even possible?
Forget it. I don't want to know. I like shopping.
I know.
In fact, we were walking through the tent together and we're like, we have that.
Yeah.
We have that.
Yeah.
We have one just like that. We don't have that. And so we bought it.
Yeah. But I guess that's the whole idea, right? We are
that's what they are
victims
here
of
for.
Any flea market, any flea style market. That we are just suckers for that. We love
sure
it.
Are.
Well, maybe that's why I write the RV Travel Gadget Report.
Then we can justify buying all those things. We're just going to write about it.
May or may not have come away from here with electric bikes. So anyway.
So I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Or for everyone is, I am, going to be new to starting my YouTube channel. So what kind of tools or how do you suggest I go about it, and where do I get support?
No matter what business you start, no matter what kind of business it is, whether you're selling greeting cards on Main Street or you're selling eyeballs on YouTube, marketing. It's always about marketing what you have, learning how to market what you have, and doing your very best to serve your audience, whether it's having the right coffee mugs in your gift store, or the kind of candle scents. A friend of ours just opened a candle store. The candle scents the customers are after, or honing in on what your voice is on the internet, and then focusing on that and delivering the very best quality you can with that voicing in mind. That's my. And the other thing I will say, anytime you are using another person's platform, like Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Pinterest or TikTok or anything like that, you're always riding their bus. And if they decide to change lanes and go a different route, then you're not going where you want to go. So I always encourage everybody to own your own content and own your own way of speaking to that. And by that I mean get a website and a mailing list. Honestly, that will never ever not serve you very, very well. So those are my bits of advice. And I used to do business marketing for folks, so that's just universally true, whether you're selling cars and trucks or 600,000 RVs.
No matter what you're selling,
Yeah.
you're selling yourself.
Yeah.
That's true. As far as support goes, I did see a need for support in my community, and I'm new. I've been out now for 7 months, and it actually came from a Facebook community that I had for women only. And from that, there was such a need for other people to start channels that I said, well, you know what? I'm going to start a Facebook group to support these people. And I'm going to get other creators to come on and help each other. Because that's what we do. We like to help each other. So the Facebook group is called, and everyone is welcome. It's not just women only. It's called Nomad YouTube Creators. And I'd like to welcome new people that are starting channels to come on and ask your questions. And if we don't have an answer, well, I'll try to find it together.
That's awesome. There's also that's a good group, and we'll put a link to that. Also, there is RV Content Creators Facebook group started by Josh Sheehan and I think Jason Epperson from RV Miles, and that's a really good group. There's a lot of heavy hitters in that group, and it's very friendly and welcoming.
Yeah,
so
once a week in that RV content creators group I think it's on Fridays.
Yeah.
That they do allow you to post your videos or whatever your content to go out to other people. So.
But in the
Yeah.
meantime,
But-
you can ask all the
But
questions.
yeah, any post, yes,
But if you
any
put
post,
your-
it's
your video
asking.
on Wednesday, they're going to take it off.
right. Yep. So yeah. And then Daniel from Cherish the Journey. Just as a newbie myself in getting YouTube going, is just networking, just talking to other people. Just don't be afraid to ask questions and try to reach out to other people, and just network, and just so that way you can know where you're going, get ideas, and just get out there. Like Think Media is one of the things I've just looked at, and so that's one of the avenues that you could go to, is just to get an idea of how to start.
I've had my channel up for about 2 years. The first 6 or 8 months, it was hit and miss. And now I post twice a week on Tuesday and Fridays. I have learned a lot from RV content creators and some other places, but where I just started was I went on YouTube and how do I start a YouTube channel? And I watched a lot of different creators and gave their suggestions, and I tried to follow them. And the big thing is consistency. Pick a date and make sure your content is up on that day. And if you're going to go more than that day, just be consistent. Yeah.
I agree. I'm a YouTube watcher. However, I also have my own YouTube channel.
Well, what have you got to share with us?
It's Gregory Myers under my name, and it's UGG Heights, because I'm a hiker.
Right. Yeah, we had spoken earlier.
I hiked 3/4 of the Appalachian Trail, and I vlogged it, and I get a lot of, people want to know about hiking, so you get a lot of watchers. And I'm also doing the Arizona Trail here in a month. And then after that, who knows? But I am going to get into RVing, and that's really the reason why I'm here is RVing. And I agree with consistency. Every Monday, if you can do every day, you're going to get a lot of watchers. But that's a lot of work, a lot of content. But if you can do it every other day or twice a week, great. But as long as you're consistent, I think that's going to be the key there. Anyway,
so
back to your earlier point. I wish they had more travel trailers here, and everything that I'm getting from the content of the country is that this buying spree last year, that there's nothing out there. There's no inventory.
They're starting to get caught up, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, if the way the RV industry has worked is they filled customer orders before dealer stock orders. So if you went to an RV dealer and said, "Hey, I want a Flagstaff 21 FBS," they would fulfill that before if a dealer said, "Hey, I want to stock 2 of these Flagstaffs." And so that's how it's worked. And so the RVs go to the customers, which makes sense. Now they're starting to be able to fulfill dealer stock orders finally. So we'll see.
Well, but I've also heard that be careful buying a trailer that was put out recently, because they have had such high demand that they're trying to pump them out. So
in some cases,
yeah, I would say that's true in some cases and not in others. There are brands who are maintaining their quality, and I speak as someone who converses with a lot of dealers regularly. Some brands have absolutely maintained their quality, and some brands have let their lousy quality get worse. So it's not universal. And one of the things I will say, I read a lot on the forums, people go, "Oh, don't buy a Thor," or "Oh, don't buy a Forest River," or whatever. And the way those giant companies work is they encourage all their divisions to almost act as independent competitors. And so Thor, for example, Thor does, my brain is not going to work today, is it? Let's say Forest River. Forest River has East to West, and they have Rockwood and Flagstaff, and they have Cherokee, and all these different brands, and they may make similar floor plans, but you might, if you look sort of under the skin, you'll notice that, holy cow, this is so much better spec than that. And so some are clearly built to price, and some are clearly built to long-term demand. In fact, yesterday we were talking to a guy, and he looked at our trailer and he goes, "How old is that?" "Oh, 6 years old." And he goes, "Gosh, I have a trailer that's 6 years old and it looks like garbage and it's falling apart and all the stickers." And I asked him what brand, and I'm not surprised. I mean,
The other thing is,
wait, get the mic. Wait, get the mic, because we won't. Yeah.
sorry. The other thing is that you go by these RV dealers and they've got all these huge units on there. There's nothing small, like 25 feet or under.
It's all sold out.
Yeah. I have a friend that has ordered a e-pro like 9 months ago, and they haven't gotten it yet. That's
Yeah,
from
it's-
your dealer, by the
Well,
way.
and that's the problem. They are just
Yeah.
they're slammed, and one of the reasons is when Rockwood and Flagstaff came out with the Geo Pro and E Pro, what they said is we're going to build a small trailer to our standards, and we'll put it on this line with. Well, it was so good they had to go build another plant just to accommodate the demand for Geo Pros and E Pros. They are really, really well made little trailers.
And personally, if I was waiting for a trailer, I'd rather wait and know that I'm getting the quality than make them rush and not have light switches because they can't get those parts, or not have, parts that aren't available. Like, I'm going to pay for the quality. I'm going to wait for the quality.
Well, Adam did.
Well, going back to Linda's question earlier, too, everything everybody said about starting a YouTube channel and getting that off the ground is 100% correct, especially the consistency part. And I think the last thing that I'd like to add, too, is you be specifically you and don't try to be anybody else, and your niche will find you that way, too. That's really important because you're going to put that out there consistently over and over again, and you're going to feel like nobody's listening, but then you're going to find out that people are listening and they're hearing you and they're relating to you. Because, I mean, none of us here, I don't think, are original in what we're doing, right? Like, there's tons of people out there on the internet helping people get healthy, and there's tons of people out there doing RV videos and things like that. But the thing that brings our audience into us is that we share our individual stories. We put ourselves into that, and people relate to different people, just like our friends are our friends for a reason. And so that's an important part of it, just being authentic and being original, being you. And to the comment about the trailers, so having bought one in 2021, we did buy a Rockwood Mini Light. We did some research, not as much as we probably should have. So thank God that we got a good one. But it was that time where like everybody wanted one. It was like April, it was getting nice out. Everyone's getting, thinking about it. Literally had a used one that we were going to buy sold out from underneath of us while we were in it. And ended up finding one. We had to put a deposit down on it and then drive 2 hours to go get it just to make sure they didn't sell it on that Saturday. But all that to say that the quality has been outstanding. I mean, we've put 10,000 plus miles probably on it since we bought it in April, and we're living in it full time for month 5 now. And literally the only things that we've had to, I'll use fix really loosely, is tightening up a couple of loose water lines that work loose, as you travel down the road or you put too much water pressure in it. I mean, otherwise it's held up great. I mean, there's nothing broken, there's no scrapes, there's no scratches. It's like, it's a beast. So quality-wise, I guess we got a good one for sure there.
Yeah, if you ever have a chance to go to Indiana and watch them put those things together, it's an impressive sight. What were you going to say? I'm sorry. Did I walk on you? Nope. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. How about one more round of just introducing yourselves? And thank you very much for
Thank you
everyone
all for
who
being
was
here.
here. I really appreciate it. We are going to, speaking of YouTube, we are going to post this live, or not live. We are going to post this on YouTube as soon as I can get enough signal to do so.
So for all of you who tell us we need to have a better YouTube presence, we're working on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been, for us personally, we have avoided YouTube. And that's an interesting choice. We have done okay with our podcast, no complaints. We have a great audience, and our written content is really solid. And we keep hearing we need a YouTube channel, or to better our YouTube channel. And I'm like, even with this face, but I guess, I had to sneak up on the mirror this morning just to shave my beard. Are you kidding? Anyway, so thank you. Let's go one more round with where to find, best place to find you, and a channel name.
This is Adam
And Joanne.
from Team Hoff Health. You can find us at Team Hoff, TEAMHOFF.co.
And I'm Linda Ragan with Changing Lanes with Miss Linda. And as of now, I have a Facebook page, but and we're waiting for the YouTube channel to go up with the same name. Did you want to?
That's all right.
Oh, come on. We want to follow your hikes.
Yeah.
Are you
All
kidding?
right, I'm Greg Myers, and it's UGH. It's was short for Uncle Greg.
Oh, that I thought it was what I say when, when someone
Not
wants
what
me to
you
go
wear on
hiking.
your feet, all right? and I have it's on YouTube, and I haven't posted a lot in the last couple of years because I've been in the Philippines, which is not as great as it sounds because they are very strict over there with their
YouTubing.
their quarantines and all that kind of
Wow.
stuff like that. So I'm back and I'm ready to do some exploring again this year. And again, it's Greg Myers on YouTube.
And Lani Nagy with Crafty Traveler on YouTube. And I have Facebook, Crafty Traveler. And my Instagram is Traveler Crafty.
Mix it up a little.
Well, no, they couldn't. They wouldn't let us have
Yeah.
one of the platforms. I don't remember, but anyway, who cares?
I'm Elaine Lombardi. I have a YouTube channel, Travel Grandma. That's the same for the women's Facebook group. It's Travel Grandma. And the support group for YouTubers is for everyone is Nomad YouTube Creators.
I'm Daniel Rasmussen with my wife Jennifer, and we are Cherish the Journey. We have a YouTube out at Cherish the Journey and Facebook as well, Cherish the Journey, and we do have a Facebook page, and also we have Instagram. It's cherish.the.journey.co because it was probably taken, but yes.
All right.
And who the heck are we?
And we are Tony and Peggy, two part-time RV industry veterans who travel part-time in a small trailer. Look, we've done this
Yeah, I know.
150 times,
Yeah.
and I still don't remember how we say it.
Two RV
Anyway.
industry veterans traveling part-time in a small trailer looking to help you with great tips,
Tricks.
and discounts. We are stresslesscamping.com. Thank you very much, everybody, and enjoy the Quartzsite Sports Vacation and RV Show.
Happy camping.
Oh, yeah.